Happy Thanksgiving! It's Thanksgiving Day here in Canada, and it is a gloomy day, but that's okay. Yeah, it rained quite a bit. But you know what? Part of the season, I guess. I just love how the leaves are starting to hit the ground and the colors on the trees are changing. It's gonna get even more beautiful. Just pulled this out of the fridge. I've got the oven preheating and there's a beautiful stuffing. So I'm going to throw that in. My mom said for about 45 minutes or so. And then I'll take the lid off and get the top nice and crunchy. So I think I'm going to start on my preparation for the scallop potatoes. It's been in about 30 minutes. I'm just going to take a peek. Oh yeah, it's coming along. You can see the top browning just a bit. And again, I'm going to take the lid off probably in 15 minutes or so. Well, it's been 45 minutes, and if you notice, the outside here is sort of getting brown. So I don't want it to burn, and the middle needs to get brown like that. So I created a little invention, just some tin foil to cover up those areas. That way they won't burn. Alright, I'm just going to sort of fix this and I'll get it back in the oven. It smells so good in this house. I am loving it. It just reminds me of, you know, holidays, because we always have stuffing on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter. These multi-grain buns, look how awesome they are. I guess they're dinner rolls. Alright, I was so hungry. And of course, because it's Thanksgiving, you just give yourself permission to be a little bit bad. I was totally going to have an apple, but then I saw these and I thought, you know, they're going to go bad. So I seriously just took this bun and here's some butter. And I'm not going to do it because I just ate one. And I dipped a little butter on it and took a bite. And then I spun it around like there's no germs going back in the butter. And I would do that, and I just ate the whole bun. Not a whole lot of butter, but that was good. Oh yeah. Time to indulge. Today's all about indulging. Not like too much, because diabetes, obviously I'm not going to be eating chocolate or dessert or anything like that. I have to watch my carbs, but as for like fat intake, I will probably have more than normal with the butter. And, you know, it adds up. If you have butter, I have butter in the stuffing, only 2 tablespoons, so I'll have butter in the scallop potatoes. I'm not going to go crazy with them. But other than that, I'm not putting butter on my vegetables. There's no salt in any of this food today. So overall, you know, not too bad. I'm just going to take the tin foil off. Oh, shoot. You know what? It could be darker. Hold on. I'm going to throw it back in. When you cook with certain dishes only a few times a year, you know, they get dusty and stuff probably under the cabinet. So I just washed them all by hand. I'll be putting the scallop potatoes in this glass Pyrex dish, and I think that will do it. I'm not gonna, if I make more than this, I'll be putting it in the Corningware dish. And then what I'm gonna do with this, because there's only 2 of us, we'll have leftovers for a few days, but I'll be freezing some of it, and then, you know, down the road we can just sort of heat it up in the oven, and it'll be nice with probably some veg. I've got a recipe binder here, just either the recipes that are my mom's, or, you know, you go on the internet and I don't have printer ink to print them out, so I just handwrite them. But what I'm looking for is a recipe for roux. I'm sure I should probably go through each page. There's some I printed out back when I had ink. Nope. I really thought I had roux. Oh well, I'm going to go on YouTube and quickly write it down. I think this is what I'm looking for, old-fashioned scalloped potato recipe. So I'm just going to pay attention to the quantities for the roux. 9 tablespoons of butter. Heck no. See, I'm totally not going to do that. Shoot. Maybe this is because this is a big batch. Alright, I'm going to have to keep looking. But at least down here it tells me how to do it. Yeah, I'd say that's done enough. I just like it so crispy, and my mom doesn't really care for that crispy top, so that just means I get even more. I remember back in the day when I was a kid, when we used to have a big turkey, my sisters and I would share the turkey skin. That was the best part. One dish down, and I've got a few more to go. The vegetables I'll do sort of right before dinner. And my mom's having a nap, so we'll probably hold dinner off. I had that bun, so I'll be good for a couple hours. And so when she wakes up from her nap, it's gonna smell so good in here, because it smells just like Thanksgiving. I know I keep talking about that, but it's amazing how certain smells, and especially food, they bring back memories. Here's another website, allrecipes.ca. And you know what? I'm finding that all the recipes are for like 2 pounds or 3 pounds of potatoes. So look at that, 9 tablespoons of flour. I'll be using whole wheat flour. And 6 tablespoons of butter. It just sounds like so much, but I guess if it's, you know, that much in a big dish, you're only having a little bit of it. I wish my mom would wake up, because I want to ask her what the quantities. Shoot. It says this is for a 9 by 13 inch baking dish. I'm going to go measure that glass dish I have, and I guess if it'll fit in there, then this is a recipe I'm going to follow. I'll tweak it a bit with 1% milk and stuff, but quantity wise I think this is the way I'm going to go. So 9 by 13. I'm not very good with measurements, so I got out my measuring tape, and this one is 8 by 11, so the other one says 9 by 13, so yeah, I guess I'll be following that recipe. If I have a bit more, like I said, I'll put it in that little Corningware dish. Alright, I'm just trying to think here. Yeah, I'm going to cut my potatoes, put them in water, and then cut the onions. And then maybe by then my mom will wake up and I'll get a little help with making the roux. I just don't like to screw things up, and I want to make sure I do it right. Even though there's a recipe, like there's nothing better than your mom telling you how to do it, you know? I found a pretty good scalloped potato recipe online. So it's got 6 potatoes, 2 pounds. So I've got 6 here, and they're about medium sized. So I'm not quite sure if I should just do an extra one, you know, that way I have enough. I think I might. So I'm going to peel them and then cut them thinly, and what I'm going to do is take this bowl, fill it with cold water, and then as I cut them, I'll put them in here, and then I'll sort of rinse them with water, throw them in a colander, throw them back in here, and then kind of let them sit in the cold water while I prepare cutting the onions. Now with the onions, I'm going to throw on some gloves because I have to cut, I don't know, 6 or 7 onions. It just gives it a lot of flavor. And then I'll make the roux probably near the end before I throw it in the oven. And these bags I was talking about that you get in the produce department, what I did was I just cut it down the side and then the length of it, so it makes a nice big area that I can just peel the potatoes and kind of throw all my garbage on here from the onions and everything. So yeah. And I'm cleaning the kitchen as I go along, which has really been helpful. I don't have a whole lot of counter space. got them peeled and washed, and as I slice them, I've got the water ready in the bowl here, and then I will get to cutting these. I'm sure I'll have to take a little break because I'll be crying, especially these yellow onions. I think they're yellow. It doesn't say, but yeah, I think they're yellow, but they're the kind that make you cry. I'm using 2.5 pounds altogether here. I cut the potatoes pretty thin. I don't want them to take way long to cook, and they're not perfect. Some are thinner than others, but that's alright. So I'm just going to re-put them. I got some fresh water here, and I rinsed them quite well to get the starch off. And then next are the onions. I ended up using 4 onions, and yeah, that's plenty. Probably a little too much, actually. And I've got the potatoes nice and clean there. No more starch, really. Yeah, something tells me I'm going to have to use 2 baking dishes. So I've actually got another one of these Corningware I'm going to grab out of the cupboard. And next is making the roux. The good news is my mom's awake from her nap, so I'll have a little moral support while I'm doing it. It just makes me feel better, like, to ask her things just because, you know, she knows what she's doing. I'm starting the roux, and I can't believe how much butter this needs. This is how much, this is 1/4 of a cup. I can't believe it. Well, let's just say thank goodness it's Thanksgiving, because I can't believe that. Even though I won't eat all that, but still, that's a lot. And then the flour, I've got this much flour, and then 2.5 cups of milk. So I'm gonna use this butter that's been at room temperature. I can't believe I'm gonna use all that. I'm not going to. I can't do it. I'm gonna use maybe a little more than half. Yeah, I can't use all that butter. Unbelievable. I put a little less than 1/4 just because I didn't put as much butter. And then there's the milk. There's the butter, just waiting for it to get hot, and I'll add the flour and whisk, and then add the milk whenever it looks like it's ready to need milk, probably a minute or 2. There it is. I'm just waiting for it to thicken a little bit more, then I'll take it off the heat. So it's got whole wheat flour, that's why it's a little, the color is a bit off, and of course butter. So yeah, I had my mom right beside me telling me what to do. So yeah, almost done, and I've got the oven preheating, and I'll get those scalloped potatoes in right away. Mission accomplished. Got the baking dish. I sprayed it lightly with Pam, and then I sort of just used a paper towel to spread it around. And time to layer it up. Just gonna drain these and give them a rinse one more time, and then I'll dab them off with probably a dish towel. Got my assembly line here with the roux and the dish, and then the onions and the potatoes. And so what I do is it's potatoes, then onions. I'm not sure why some of them onions are a little bit green. Yeah. Just sock it to it. Tons of onions. Delish. Alright. And then some more of the roux. I can tell already I'm going to need another big baking dish. Like I'm halfway with this one. I don't want to fill it up too far. And look at all the stuff I have left. Yeah. I cooked way too much. Alright, so more potato. I just throw it on there, a layer or 2. There we go. And I'll probably be able to fit one more layer on, and then that's it. There it is, ready to go. I'm just going to cover it with tin foil and get it in there. Just about to start cooking the vegetables. So we've got the string beans, and I've got cauliflower and broccoli over there for my mom, and then my cauliflower and broccoli. And yeah, this is the final thing I'm cooking, and then dinner should be ready. The scalloped potatoes, I'm just about to test them and see whereabouts they are. It's been about 45 minutes. Say these are close to being done. Gonna check them in a minute. And these are done as well. The bigger one is not quite ready yet, so we're just gonna have our dinner with these, and like I said, I'll be freezing some and having leftovers, so plenty of food. Whoo-wee, that was a lot of work, but here it is. I've got some Mrs. Dash on my cauliflower, and there's broccoli, green beans, and there's the stuffing, and then scalloped potatoes, and I have a little bit of ham and turkey on a separate plate. So, very excited. Looks so good.